Welcome back, Shalligators. Donald Trump is president once again. Let's talk about how to deal with a boss who's a psychopath. Because you might need these tips, okay? You might need these tips to get through the next 4 years. You might need these tips to get through the next 4 days where you are in terms of your employment. Maybe there's a psychopath in your family. Maybe there's one in your friend group. If there isn't a psychopath in your orbit right now, there will be. And forewarned is forearmed. I am extremely familiar with these types of personalities. I have learned to actually kind of enjoy them because I'm like, I can see a little bit myself. I can see a little bit myself. And you know what? It takes a thief to catch a thief, doesn't it? So I'm going to tell you some scientifically backed information about psychopaths and specifically how to deal with the boss who is a psychopath. And we're going to define, like, what does this actually mean? Because it's one of those terms like narcissist and toxic that's just thrown around. But do people actually know a psycho when they see one? What is the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath? You know, a lot of shit. But I'm going to give you some real deal ways to deal with this type of personality if they happen to be the person that you work for, or who is making large choices. Before we get started, we've got some amazing things happening. Okay, first of all, it's Winter Evil Week. Did you know that? It's Winter Evil Week. The Ruthless Reset is live right now in the Shallon, and you can watch for free. I'm letting every new member in for free for a week. You can sign up until January 27th. And if you sign up the 27th, like, the week starts then. Yes, binge the Ruthless Reset, because this week we're talking about how to cut people off. Toxic fuckboys, how to inhabit the mindset of I'm going to do less and get more. I'm going to introduce you to the glory of being a guilt-free slut. It's going to be great. So click the link down below, sign up, see what it's all about, see if you like it, and we're happy to have you. Also, come to Montana! You guys, I'm so excited about this. I am hosting a retreat in Montana, where I live, Bozeman, Montana, over Valentine's Day weekend. The Wild Hearts retreat is going to be so amazing. It's my most intimate getaway ever. Only 7 slots. We have a luxury cabin. It's huge. It's like this craft. It's beautiful, gorgeous thing on 160 acres. So we're going to be out in nature. There's going to be good vibes. There's going to be little ritual ceremonies. We're going to go out to honky tonks. We're going to line dance. We're going to eat Montana food. I mean, I love Montana, and I love showing people how incredible it is here. So if you need a girl's getaway, if you need to unplug from real life, if you need to reaffirm and recommit to your goals for this year and let go of some things that are no longer serving you, come to Bozeman, baby. Spots are super limited. We're already selling. Click down below. I would hate for you guys to miss it. Okay. We have a new president. Well, is he a new president? I don't know, man. Listen, you guys know I'm a moderate, and that means you are constantly like, huh? But you're constantly like, ugh. You're always winning and you're always losing. I thank you, President Trump, for declaring that there are only 2 sexes, and this is immutable. Thank you. I appreciate you declaring that it's not agua. It's not tren de agua. Whatever the fuck they are. Those Venezuelans are a terrorist group. Thank you. I appreciate you sealing up the border. I mean, I am fine with more people coming to this country, but you need to do it the right way. The way all of the rest of our families have done it. Okay? My family's been here since the 1690s. We've been here a long time. However, non-renewable energy, climate stuff, drill baby. I live in Montana. I'm very connected with the environment, and to think that we're going to just go and rape Alaska and God knows where else is, I mean, it hurts me on like a cellular level, because I believe the environment is an extension of womanhood, of the female divine, of Mother Nature. It's very depressing. It's disheartening. It's disheartening. But you know what? All we can do is all we can do. We vote. We stay very invested in local politics and understand what's going on. The local politicians impact your day-to-day life vastly more than the president or a senator, okay? So never forget that. Keep your eyes peeled for new ballots that come up, whatever. You guys know this. Donald Trump is an excellent example of a clinical psychopath. Excellent. Like, textbook. Why? What does this mean? Well, we just did a video a few weeks ago about sociopaths. Max Verstappen, he's a Formula One driver. I can't say for sure he's a sociopath, but there's something in the eyes and just the pieces I know about him, I'm like, huh, okay. And in that video, I talked about like, listen, don't go seeking out a sociopath, but if one happens to be in your orbit, there's actually a lot you can learn from them. And if you know how to work them right, they could very much enhance your life. They can very much enhance your life. You have to know what you're in for though. Like you got to look at them with eyes absolutely wide open. So what's the difference between a socio and a psycho? So both of these people fall under the umbrella of the antisocial personality disorder. And like, I guess doctors are moving away from defining people as socio versus psycho. I love when they do this. It's like, you can say that a cat is no longer called a cat. Cats don't evaporate off the face of the earth. Whatever that creature is, it's still there. And it's like, no, it's antisocial person. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You know who cares the least about being called a sociopath or psychopath? Sociopaths and psychopaths. Like, you're not hurting their feelings. That's kind of the whole deal. So both of these groups of people have very low empathy and high impulsivity, right? They don't feel guilt. They don't feel shame. They don't have concern for other people. We know this. What distinguishes a psychopath is grandiosity. They're the best. They're the best. And risk. They take big, big risks. Now, the difference between a successful psychopath, a CEO, a president, and an unsuccessful one, somebody who's in prison, is impulse control. This is the huge distinction, impulse control. An unsuccessful psychopath can't control themselves. They have an insane trigger reaction. They have an insane temper. They have a horrible bad temper. And you couple a bad temper with a high ego and no empathy, yeah, the end result is prison, usually. The better ones, the more successful ones, their ego is larger than life. And oh yeah, they're hella fucking triggered by certain things. They get real mad, but they have the wherewithal to be like, I'm gonna play the long game here. I'm gonna play the long game. And I think this is something people are drawn to with Trump, is that he acts the way everyone wants to act. Fuck you, fuck your feelings. I'm not gonna do this. He is doing what kind of all of us want to do. And I've tried to explain this to my liberal friends who are like foaming at the mouth. They're so upset about this. And they're like, how can everyone be so stupid voting for him? I'm like, excuse me. First of all, if you think half the country is stupid, why the fuck do you care what happens to them? Why do you care if they can have an abortion or not? Why do you care if they have health insurance? They're stupid, remember? So wait a minute, maybe they're not stupid? Okay, do you owe it to yourself to get into the head of a really MAGA person? I can tell you that no, they're just stupid. Okay, you lost. You'll be not in the White House, but you don't want to, okay. I have no tolerance anymore for people who want to be the victim and yet they're helping to create the problem. And if you refuse to see what's going on behind the scenes of a problem, you are in fact helping to create it because you're not part of the solution because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So the mindset of someone who is super, super into Trump, in part, and I think people who are very into him will cite more concrete things like, hey, I care about the border, I care about this, for sure. But I think the unconscious allure there is he does what we all want to do. He lives out loud, unbothered, unempathetic, no fear of blowback, no fear. It's pretty attractive. If you know anything about him prior to his political career, like who he was in the 80s, he was like Chuck Bass on meth, on steroids, orbiting, like just blasted into outer space. Like his book, The Art of the Deal, is a manipulation guide. If you want to know how to manipulate someone, read that book. It's fascinating. But let me read you this description from a psychiatrist. I'm sorry, this is not just a psychiatrist. This is Robert Hare. So Robert Hare is sort of the king of psychopaths. He himself is not a psychopath. I mean, he might be. But he developed the Hare psychopathy checklist. It's a fascinating test to take. It's pretty interesting. And if you are with anyone and they take it and they get a 0, you have a liar in front of you, okay? No one's a 0. And he described a psychopath thusly. They are social predators who charm, manipulate, and ruthlessly plow their way through life, completely lacking conscience and feelings for others. They selfishly take what they want, do as they please, violating societal norms and expectations without the slightest sense of guilt or regret. Sound like anyone we know? How does this relate to bosses? How does this relate to bosses? Because it's interesting. If you're pro-Trump, or even if you're not, you can look at this man sometimes and be like, no, it was funny. It's a lot less funny when that man is your boss. And I'm just going to use like a he throughout this. We absolutely know that women can be psychopaths too. How do we deal with this when it's very close to home? I had a psychopath boss when I was at Star, and he's friends with Trump, and all of the little people in his like closest circle were either complete psychopaths as well, Trump, some other people. I mean, this man he got dragged before Congress. Yeah. Or they were the most spineless beta males you could possibly imagine. There was no one in between. There was no one who was normal with a backbone. Nope. They were either worms or they were wolves. That was it. And I was tortured by this person because I cannot abide people who treat others like that for like no reason. The people I am horrible to, oh, there's reasons. And if you ask them, why does Shallon hate you? They'll tell you. They're not like, I don't know. They know. I know. Everyone knows because I talk about it on the fucking internet. One of the big hallmarks of these people is they're doing all the right things on the surface. They're glamorous. They're flashy. They're charming. You know, we always say when it comes to like abusive men, you don't get hit on the first date. They sink their teeth into you. They know exactly how to turn on that charm. And charm is a lot easier when you don't really feel fear, because charm is warmth. Warmth is accessibility. It's putting yourself out there. It's engaging. A lot of people are too anxious to do that. A psychopath isn't. So they're going to sell it really, really well. And they're going to turn on the charm with all the right people, and they're going to grind the wrong people into dust. So here's what this doctor has to say. Andrea Matthews. They'll pick out the people who they consider to be weak, stupid, or otherwise less than, and go after those people. She'll toy with them until they're completely overwhelmed, and eventually, when she's done playing, she'll fire them. Or they'll load you down with impossible tasks, sit back and watch as you squirm under this load. They'll ask you to do unethical, even illegal things. I was constantly asked to do illegal things. Fortunately, I am not an ethical person. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't. Because I'm like, dude, I'm not getting like in trouble for this fucking company. I'll get in trouble for my own company. I'm getting in trouble for this. No. And if the victim refuses to do those things, they won't fire you. They'll just destroy one of your favorite projects. Just because they can. And then the psychopath boss will sit back and watch you writhe in pain. And when you're all done playing, then they'll fire you. Does that also sound familiar? We think of these people as like, oh, they're just going to fire me. No. They're going to take a page from the serial killer's playbook. You ask any serial killer, it's like, what do you want? Do you just want to kill people? And do you know what the most frightening amongst them say? No, I don't want to kill them. I just want to take away their happiness. But I want them alive. It makes your blood run cold. It's awful. But then again, when I think about my own enemies, I'm like, no, I don't want her dead. I just want her to never feel joy again for the entire rest of her life. And if that come from me, that would be fantastic. So this is what the psychopath boss is going to do. They will stick around and torture you. You will be the little plaything that they always go back to. So what the fuck are you supposed to do? I read a lot of books about this because I'm like, if anyone can go toe-to-toe with this man, it's me. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm fucking Shallon Lester. Are you kidding me? If anyone can hack his psychology, it's me. And every book and every article and every blog I read and every therapist I talked to said the same thing. One word. Run. Run. Here are your choices. You can stick around, because I'll tell you what I did. I didn't run. I stuck around and I became the sword and the shield for everyone else in my office. I was standing up for people. I was sowing seeds of dissent. I was trying to make people stand up. Take your lunch breaks. Don't check your email after work. Absolutely don't write that. You're going to get sued and he's going to be fine. He'll sail off in the sunset. You will get sued by Tom Cruise for saying that. I was trying to stand up for people, and that drew attention, and that was not good attention because, yeah, the boss sought to torture me. Vacation cut back, articles slashed and burned, losing access to things, not getting invited to things, right? So you can sit around and you can try to fight. You will destroy yourself in the process because this person, by definition, has the power. Now, you can dig in. You can go to HR. You can take it to the streets. You can file a lawsuit. That's a lot of time and it's a lot of money. And by the way, HR doesn't give a fuck if you live or die. HR is a traffic cone, essentially. They are there to protect the company from lawsuits, not to protect your rights. They have to protect your rights to insulate the company from a lawsuit, but that is not their primary focus. They do not care about you. Please understand this. HR is not your friend. The only way HR protects you, if you go to them and you say, here is this evidence, I'm bringing a fucking lawsuit. I'm dropping words like sexual harassment, racial discrimination, blah, 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 blah. I'm dropping Preston. I'm dropping like the Standard Oil Company versus Johnson. I'm dropping legal case law. Unless you turn my computer back on, give me my maternity leave, whatever it is. If you just come there with like, he's mean, they're like, I didn't hear any legal threats in there. So why don't you go back to your desk? We're going to have Chipotle on Friday. They don't fucking care, dude. So if you're going to dig your heels in and try to take down this whole ship and you think HR is going to help you, they won't. They won't. HR responds to threats. Luckily, I am very good at threats. So I was dealing with HR a lot and I got really good at it. And I learned, I trained myself to love to fight. It was not easy. Okay, so these are your options, right? You quit. When you get a flash, you're like, oh shit, fuck, this is who this is. This is what I'm dealing with here. You can read the writing on the wall and say, I'm going to start to look around. You don't have to get up and walk out right that minute, but you start to coast. You become the gray man. The gray man. What does this mean? What does this mean? This is a term we learned in Army ROTC. I'm sure maybe you've heard of it, but like if you get captured, this is what they would tell you. Like 18, it's like, fuck. If you get captured, you want to blend in. You don't want to stand out as the weakling. You don't want to stand out as a strong one because they're going to target both of those extremes to see who they can get to talk and who they can break or make an example out of. You want to be the guy who doesn't even exist. The gray man. Vague with no face. That is your method of survival in your office. I personally don't like to be a gray person. I'm not, obviously. And so I knew that was not a tenable solution for me to just blend in and coast. It probably should have been while I looked around for another job, but I'm just such a warlord in and of myself. I chose the other direction, the sword and the shield. Those are your two paths. I guess three. You read the writing on the wall. You start to make an exit plan. You don't make an exit plan. You go gray. I will tell you though, you go gray and this bleeds over into every category of your life. This capitulation, this loss of self, this take advantage of me, this victim mentality, it will infect and poison every dynamic in your life. I watched it with other people. Their marriages suffered. They got fat. They didn't have any self-esteem to get themselves into a new job. Well, it's not any better out there, and I just stay here. I'm grateful for what I have. Pigeons. Pigeons. And here I was trying to save them. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, this is what they want. This is what they voted for. So, or of course, your third option, stay and fight. But understand what this fight is going to look like, what it's going to take from you, the money, the time, the stress. And please understand that if you are hoping to make this person see, if you're looking for justice, you will most likely never get it. you would rather hear this from me than from a judge or just from life or from the psychopath himself. Justice is fake. Fauci just got pardoned. Okay. Justice isn't real. Revenge is real. But justice, as other people are going to meter it out, no. And I am not saying this in a flippant, dismissive way. Moving on with your life, the sooner the better, is the closest thing you're going to get to justice and revenge. And you know I love revenge. I am telling you this as someone who has tried it. I am telling you this as someone who fought against this person, and I lost. I got fired. I just fucking lost. If I had an endless, if I had to like go into the trust fund and just drain it, yeah, maybe I could have won. Maybe. But like, win what? Win what? And this is what we're talking about in the Shallon this week, quitting. Because we only have so much energy and bandwidth in this world. And I'm like, listen, I could go after this company after I'd been fired. I'm like, I could go after this company and I could keep reinvesting. I could keep looking for healing in the same place I got hurt. Or I could take this same ball of energy and YouTube and put it into YouTube. And that's what I did. And here I am. And you know what? If they had dragged this man into the town square and chopped his head off, I would still be left with the sense of, okay, now where do I take my life? I would have had to put energy towards YouTube or any other job eventually. Would I really have wanted to waste 2 more years and like $180,000? I know, girl. Believe me. I don't love telling you guys this, but I am shooting you all the way straight. I am shooting you straight because I have watched people try to take down these men, these women, these psychopaths, and very rarely does it work. They keep getting promoted, getting elected, making laws. Stand up for yourself. If that is going to make you, it's like if standing up for yourself is going to give you a more peaceful feeling than being the gray man, then do it. Understand what the consequences will likely be. That I will fix on you. And the only way to get it off of you is to throw someone else in their path. You give them a new target. And a lot of times, this is like the sort of like 4th way to do it. So the first is you run. The second, you gray man. The third, you stay and fight. The 4th, which is what I saw a lot of people doing at Star, is you suck up. You are the fawning toady. You suck up. Here's another tiny overlap. I detest people like this. I can see through them in a heartbeat because how they operate is fear. It's pure fear. It's low self-esteem and it's fear. I don't respect either one of those things. I find them gross. And I have just seen too many times a psychopath turn on that person and bully them because they're weak. They're weak. The psychopath can smell it a mile away. And so they're the constant whipping boy. And if they think that that makes them safe, it don't. Every single movie, like Disney movies, the villain always has like a little henchman. Iago, whatever. And they always get their comeuppance. Like the little ratty, like in The Mummy. The guy with the mustache, Benny, wasn't that his name? He got his comeuppance. And that's literally what they said. They're like, people are like, you always get what's coming to them. He's like, really? Always. And yeah, he was like eaten by beetles or something horrible. Because the psychopath, the mummy, was like, bye. Like, he didn't save him. There's no love lost there. This person was a tool. They were just a cog in the wheel. They were disposable livestock. So if you think that's going to help you, it won't. It is a false sense of security. And again, that dynamic will bleed into every aspect of your life. There's so many jobs out there, dude. There's so many paths. And when you're in it, it's like an abusive relationship or a town you hate or whatever. You're in this like muck. You're in this muck and you cannot think, you truly cannot conceptualize that there's life beyond this. That there are places that will respect you, men who won't hit you, friends who don't talk shit behind your back. It's this Stockholm Syndrome that keeps us there. That it's like, well, it's never going to get any better, so why should I leave? Would you tell that to me? Would you tell that to your friend? Hey, Will is hitting me. Would you be like, huh? I mean, that sucks, but you know that you can't do better, right? I mean, like, you do know that. If you wouldn't say that to someone else, why on earth are you saying it to yourself? And listen, this is something that the Shallon Entourage can help you with. We have a lot of conversations about psychotic bosses, and girls shoot each other all the way straight. They're like, I know that you're right. I know that you're right. But are you willing to cut off your nose to spite your face? Are you willing to throw more good money after bad? I'm sorry, I'm just full of like folksy sayings today, but how much are you willing to lose? When will enough be enough? And it's kind of like when someone cheats on you and you take them back and you're just like raging and raging and raging. This happened with my ex when I took my cheating ex back. I realized that my rage was going to be bottomless. There was never enough viciousness that I could spew. Even if I was going to hit him, I did hit him once. I regret nothing. I wish I would have hit him harder, honestly. It would just never be enough. It would just never be enough. And that's when I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go. We can't stay in this dynamic. I will never slake my bloodlust because when I'm hurt, it goes forever. And again, you can't find healing in the same place you got hurt. So if you think, I just need to get him fired, I just need to get him this, I just need to make everyone see. One thing we talked about in the Shallon Entourage was we sit around waiting for everyone to get it. Why don't they get it? Like, wake up and get it. And we claw ourselves into oblivion, trying to make people see, what if the awakening that we've been waiting for isn't from other people? What if it's within ourselves? Ugh. I know. Sucks. It's unfair. It's unsatisfying. It is unsatisfying in the moment. You will lose the battle. You will win the war. I am fucking destroying my old boss every day that I don't work for him. Every day that I don't work for anyone. Every day that I can get on a plane to Paris whenever I want, see you girls in any city in the world. I have friends. Fucking winning. Tits have never been perkier, by the way. When I don't wake up clenching my jaw so bad, my dentist is like, you're going to crack your teeth if you don't figure this out, because that's the stress I was under. Every day that I live outside of that icky world, I'm winning. I'm winning. Does it feel as good as just shooting him in the kneecaps? No, of course not. It's never going to. But we have to work with the options that are available to us, and we have to operate somehow under the umbrella of logic and reasonable outcomes, reasonable expectations. What is a reasonable outcome for this? Well, he should... Not what should happen, not what you want to happen. What is likely to happen? Well, I have the law on my side. A lot of people do who lose in court. And even if they win, do you know how much a lawyer costs? It costs me thousands and thousands of dollars to send a letter, a cease and desist letter. You want to take it all the way? Your daddy must have done a lot better than mine, because that is a hell of a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money. I'll tell you what, if you want to take your boss to court, you need to be prepared to spend at an absolute, just to get the filings ready, 10 to 15,000. Seriously. And I'm probably on the low end. Lauren, if you're watching, comment. She's my lawyer. She's one of my besties. Like, what would you say? How much would it take to get someone to court? Let's say it's 15,000. I want you to go to Cartier or to some other luxury store, YSL, whatever. And I want you to Pick out things that are that much money. And I want you to pretend you own that Chanel bag, pretend you bought that Cartier bracelet. Which would feel better? Revenge. No, I get it. No, I know. Probably same. I know. But what if the path that you're going to get on, this incredible like exercise in this fight, what if the fight was not you versus the psychopath? What if the fight was you versus you? But I haven't done anything. I know. Oh, I know. And in the moment, it's like when someone cheats on us. It's like, well, what did you learn, girl? Shut the fuck up. What the fuck? What do you mean, what did I learn? What did I learn? Thank you. I'm actually the victim here. I get it. Like, I get it beyond. But when we can learn when to walk away, which we've been talking about, like, I didn't even mean for this to be such a theme lately on YouTube and in the Shallontrage of like walking away. But I feel like a lot of us are just kind of in that headspace of like, bro, I will see myself out. When we can master that, and not walking away from everything, but truly understanding what battles to pick, the ones we do pick, we pick. You're like, no, I have a revenge fund. This is what I've been saving my money for. No. I'm going to go toe to toe with this asshole if he thinks I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Okay. But we, therefore, and again, this is the whole theme of Winter Evil Week in the Shallontrage. What is worth our energy? What is worth our energy? And what drives us the fucking craziest is not always where we need to put our energy. That is not always an indicator to act. I don't know. I tell you exactly step by step how to differentiate, because this is something I've gone through. I have a million people coming at me at all times, not just me on the internet. I mean, in real life, whatever. We all do. And I have had to force myself to learn how to do this, because otherwise I was like, boom, 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 boom. I was doing nothing but fighting. I was doing nothing but making them see. And I had nothing to show for it. I wasn't getting laid and I wasn't getting paid. So at some point you got to go back to the drawing board. Okay, what's worth it? What can I let go? And the battles I pick, let's go. Okay, tell me what you guys think. I think I'm going to do a video on Onyx Storm, the new Fourth Wing book that's out. No spoilers because I haven't read it yet. But about why we shouldn't fight for a man. What do you guys think? Juliana, you suggested this, a video on the TikTok ban. I know it's back, but I posted on my Instagram like, hey, this TikTok ban was like a good warning shot that you need to diversify your portfolio. Like, you need to diversify your life. If the concept of TikTok evaporating like sent a chill down your spine. And is this a good kind of life lesson of putting your eggs in one basket in any category? Are there places in our life where we should absolutely only have one thing we're focusing on? Like a man, should we only have one boyfriend? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about those topics, and we're going to be back next time. Don't forget, come to Montana. We've only got a few spaces available. There's only 7 spaces. It's all inclusive. And everything is it's just going to be wonderful. The Wild Hearts Retreat is going to be transformative and fun and sisterhood. We're going to do a bunch of like cool mindset activities during the day and then like go out and just have a grand time. It's going to be the best girls trip ever. And if you want to watch Winter Evil Week, you can watch it for free all week. I'm onboarding every new Shallontrage subscriber for free for a week. Click the link down below. You have until January 27th to sign up for that. All right, I'll see you later, Shallow Gears.